Hello and welcome to the Basic Intelligence channel. My name is Andrew and today we're going to continue the How to Fix America series by addressing the news and the media. Which sounds pretty open-ended, I know, but I mean in the sense of we as Americans find important in our day-to-day lives. And what is important isn't just solely a matter of opinion, there's actually a science to it. The science behind it is really important and is described in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For those who don't know who Abraham Maslow was, he was a psychiatrist who came up with this theoretical model of what drives humans. On screen you'll see the model as it comes up, and this is the hierarchy of needs in a nutshell. If you are missing something from one of the sections, you will not care about anything higher up on the pyramid. For example, if you're stuck underwater, you don't care about anything else other than getting air. If you're stuck in the desert, you only really care about finding water. When you're missing your most basic needs, you realize that trivial issues are just trivial. And over the past week, there have been many news stories that are a really big deal, but no one's making a big deal out of them. Things have happened and are happening that affect us on a more fundamental level, but we as a nation seem to be fixated on more trivial things. In Hanford, Washington, the nuclear site is, it's leaking. It was reported that many coworkers have already suffered from the leaks. And I'd say that ranks about here on the hierarchy of needs, because the last time I checked, anything nuclear is deadly to humans. Also, the Shell oil company spilled just a little bit of oil in the Gulf of Mexico, like 90,000 barrels worth. The oil spill is estimated to be 2 miles by 13 miles in size, which I'd say ranks about here on the hierarchy of needs because the spill will negatively impact fishery businesses that take place in the Gulf of Mexico. In addition, in New York this week, a man was arrested and carried off scene in a closed body bag, which I'd say ranks about here on the hierarchy of needs. Although the NYPD did release a statement saying the NYPD uses these devices for EDP or emotionally disturbed persons who are violent and may cause harm to themselves or others, I'd like to believe that there might be another way of arresting such a person. And Target made a statement about transgender bathrooms this week. And I put that about here on the hierarchy of needs. When I was doing research for these news stories, I found twice as many articles about the Target's transgender bathroom statement than the other 3 stories combined. I found news about how people were reacting to this news. And I find it funny because I could solve the transgender bathroom issue, and I don't think I'm the first person to think of this. If I was the head of a large corporation like Target, I'd say something like this. To keep in line with making our facilities' restrooms welcome for all, we'll be installing several family restrooms. These restrooms will be open to anyone who wishes to use them. They will consist of a handicap-accessible toilet, along with a changing station and a diaper disposal container, a sink, a drying station. We understand the need to keep our facilities warm and welcome to anyone who shops here, and we apologize if these are not up to your standards, but this is what we decided to do moving forward. With all this being said, I pose the question to you of, how do we get our news? It seems like the time of people sitting down to watch the 6 o'clock news is over. Unless you have an active interest in current events, you really only learn about relevant events by what other people post. And worse than this is that news sources understand this growing trend and have adjusted their stories they present based on the trends of what people are interested in. It is simple logic for a news outlet to monitor what is trending, evaluate the data, and create news stories that appeal to the public rather than giving them the information they truly need. The problem is that most people just don't care too, when we really should. The more we know about what's going on around us, the better choices we can make and subsequently demand of our peers and our elected officials. Because it just seems as if trivial things that people get fired up over are merely just cover-ups for things our government and large corporations don't want us to know about. Now, how do we fix it? We as Americans need to care more. We need to start ingesting all the news we're able to. And I don't mean live and breathe news, but spend 30 minutes a day reading over some headlines and articles of recent events in both your local area and beyond. And don't read the news stories that you think are just popular or clickbaity, because those are the ones you see on social media, but rather find something different. Find something that you believe is important. Imagine if we get to a point where we can go to our local news outlet, find a story that goes into detail about our day's events in the state or even our federal government, Imagine that if that news story would have a link so that you could read a bill in its entirety and formulate an opinion about a bill. Imagine the same story had a poll at the end of it, so in real time, the news outlet, the government, and the population can get a public idea of how people view the upcoming bill. Imagine being up to date with unfolding current events rather than reading someone else's opinion of it on Facebook. If we were to care just a little bit more and really just dive into those current events, we can get worked up about the things that are important and make real change. Thank you for watching. Feel free to put your thoughts in the comments below. Keep it civil, please. This is Andrew with the Basic Intelligence Channel signing off. I'll see you later.